The Trader Cobb Crypto Show, talking business in blockchain.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trader Cobb Crypto Show. Today's guest is coming all the way out of what I would suspect to be a relatively cool Norway. It's Bjørn Alsos, the operations manager at BitBay. Not the exchange, the token. So don't get confused, as I did. We're going to go into depth about what you're doing. So thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, thank you. And absolutely not a token. We're a coin.
A coin, sorry, a coin.
Yes.
My mistake, a coin. So look, let's start first with a little bit of your history, because I know you've been in the space for quite some time. Back in 2014, is that right?
Yeah, that's when BitBay launched. I've been a little longer than that, but that's when BitBay launched.
Yep. So when did you get involved in crypto assets or cryptocurrency or whatever you want to call it these days?
First half of 2014. You can still see my work in some of the charts from the time.
Wow. So you've been around a long time. And was your interest in it was more or less just Bitcoin back then, wasn't it? Back in the early days?
No, actually, altcoins were really up and coming. And well, particularly the smart contracts bit, and that's actually what attracted me to BitBay too, because David Simbeck, our lead dev, he was the first to ever release dedicated smart contracting software. This was before Ethereum.
Yeah, wow. So you've outlived just about every other token from back then, right? Because I know a lot of, look, I came in the middle of 2017, just so you know, I'm a trader. So on the technology side of things, it ain't my kettle of fish. That's not who I am and what I'm good at. But from what research that I'd done leading up to December of 2017, I'd even noticed that the inside of the top 100 coins, tokens, and whatever was available at that time from the year before, so December 16 to 17, the list had changed absolutely. Almost some had just disappeared. Some that were down here were up here. Like, it just reshuffled so much in 1 year. I mean, you must have seen so many come and go. What's been a consistency running through from back in those days to when we are here today?
Well, basically the same thing that has been a topic in one of your earlier shows, the teams.
Yeah. Good
teams make sure that the coin or the token or whatever survives.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the other thing as well is, look, it doesn't help to know how to manage a business, which is obviously part of the team. But what we're seeing, and we've seen a lot of, especially through last year, really, when the rubber hit the road for a lot of projects, they might have raised 30, 40, $100 million for their token raise. But the problem was that they had a CFO, but that CFO didn't know how to manage money, because, they kept it all on Ethereum and didn't hedge themselves into anything else. And therefore now their runway has it's just shrunk so much. Now with BitBay, you guys have been around, as you say, since 2014. You've been through the heady heights of 2017, and you've suffered just the same price-wise as everybody else going through 2018. So what's been the secret to you guys having that longevity? Like, you've made it through some of the toughest cycles and you're still there.
Well, first of all, we are blessed with one of the big devs in crypto.
Right.
David Simbeck is one of the legends, so that helps a lot.
Yep.
And also, we've been very lucky with who we have gotten on the team. I mean, in the start, it was David, Craig, an American, and me. And one more guy that was very active, and then we have people that have been coming and going.
Yep.
But in 2016, we started building team more systematically. That was pretty much my work, and I've been very lucky with the people I've gotten. I mean, we had to do a pay cut in August, I think, now 2018.
Yep.
And some actually volunteered to take a bigger cut than I suggested.
Wow.
I had to sack the whole team except 2 devs and the project manager in January now, because everything is paid by donations. Actually, we don't have a lot of ICO money to float on, and I haven't got rid of more than 1 team member. The rest just stayed anyway.
Wow. Just they have got so much belief in it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a fantastic team. I don't know where you would ever find something like that.
Well, you must be a good person to work with. I'll tell you that much.
Thank you.
What's the end goal? I mean, you're basically the world's first decentralized stable coin designed for mass adoption. I mean, that's your catchphrase, right? So what is the end goal, and what do you want to achieve here?
Well, what we will achieve is people actually using this. I mean,
Yes.
you've only been since 2017, but if you've been a little longer, you would see the fads coming and going.
Yep, absolutely.
Anon is one of those fads that's always coming back. You have the Mariana coins; they also tend to come back. So you have a few fads like that that's come and go.
Yep.
But that's all basically centered on the crypto community. It's not really targeting the end users. They may say they do it, but all their activity is targeted at the investors and the traders.
Yeah.
And that's where we are thinking a little differently. I mean, we could have jumped on a lot of the fads. It's easy for us to go totally anon. We could have had a nice price spike from that. It would be easy for us to add master nodes.
Yeah.
We could have a nice price spike from that. TPS, I mean, we could do something seriously there with very little effort. But why? I mean, we have a much faster network than Bitcoin, and we don't have a fraction of the traffic. So what's the point, really? Yeah. So instead, we focus on building it so it's easy to use, so anyone can use it, and also use it backend. And that, I think, is one of the very important things here. It will be possible for others to use our smart contracts to take advantage of of crypto without even really knowing you're dealing with crypto.
That's the big one, really, isn't it? I mean, that really is one of the things that you said before was ease of use. I think that's a really important part of adoption, and I agree with you entirely that, you know, the strategy for many of these cryptos, whatever you want to call them, and just businesses within the space as well, within the ecosystem, they seem to be so focused on who is in there already, and that's trying to capture. It's not low-hanging fruit anymore. Everyone's smartening up, and people have just sort of stopped. They're still there, they're still listening, but they're not acting and doing quite as much at the moment. So when they say that they're, you know, or they're targeting that market, we've got something new. Well, it's not new. It's just the same shit regurgitated again and again and again, right? They're not reaching out for the masses, and the only way we're going to see, you know, companies like BitBay, and you know, tokens like Bitcoin and all these other things actually come into the mainstream, not just mainstream knowledge, because everyone knows what a Bitcoin is now, right? There's not people in the Western world that have got money, or even in all over the world, to be fair, not even just the Western world, the whole world now, if they've got access to readily available information, then they'll know what a Bitcoin is, unless they just don't read and they, you know, walk around like this, right, with their ears shut. You know, so really, realistically, that exposure to the use, and I think what Bitcoin has failed in many ways, is it's not really simple. So how do we simplify it? How do we make it like, I mean, the mobile telephone, whether you're wealthy or whether you're poor, most people have a mobile telephone in different parts of the world, unless they're, you know, seriously impoverished, right? Is that the way that we can get easy use to people? How do we do it? How do we get it in the hands of people to use?
Well, basically by hiding it. You hide it back.
I get what you mean. Carry on. I understand that. Yes.
And I mean, we do need a visible front and stuff and everything too. I mean, but we can do both.
Yep.
At least we can. We're in kind of a unique position because we're actually, well, there's one other coin coming now, but otherwise we've been the only one who's able to eliminate the middleman in any deal.
Yeah.
So that's basically taking Bitcoin's philosophy, send money without middleman, secure any deal without any middleman, and no one else has been doing this.
Yep.
So that is something that is quite revolutionary, and it will save a lot of money for a lot of people, and more importantly, also increase security in a lot of deals, because the normal way we're used to do things is using some third party to secure it, and the third party most of the time doesn't know if you are lying or if I am lying. How can they? Only you and I know that, right?
Yep.
So let's get rid of the middleman, save some money, and you and I, we both know
Trustless.
what the truth is. Yeah,
we're good. We get it. We get it. Now, do you think that this? I mean, look, I'm hoping that we see Bitcoin get up through 4,000 today. I'm just looking at the chart behind me. To get up through 4,000 would be a wonderful thing. It would start to see more and more. I mean, there's a lot going on in the background, but of course, price does affect the mindsets of the individuals. So as much as we can sit back and go, well, look, we know there's a lot going on in the background. We know this space is not going anywhere. We know it's here forever. It would be also nice to give the people some faith to get excited about what's going on, because price does drive adoption. It does drive interest, which is a shame, but it's true.
I do agree, but at the same time, I think we really needed this cool off period.
Absolutely.
I mean, you talked about the CTOs that weren't really doing their job really good. Problem is, what we've seen in 2017 and 2018 is not only lack of skill sets with the CTOs, but in the whole teams.
Yeah.
I mean, in 2016, it was possible, but barely, to get a very competent crypto dev.
Yeah.
In 2017, all the not so good crypto devs were employed.
Yep.
And God knows where they found those guys that were on the projects that launched in 2018.
Yeah.
Right. So you have devs that they may be very competent devs as being able to program things, but in programming crypto is something different for several reasons. That there are hiccups. It's still very young software, and you do need to learn all those hiccups, and also the consequences when you do something wrong in your code is so massive. I mean, if I launch an app that is supposed to help you remember your groceries, worst case scenario, if I have a bug, you come home without a milk.
Right.
Yeah. So not that bad.
We can
right?
manage that. Yep.
Yeah, but in crypto, one little error in one little line of code, and you see $50 million go out the window.
Yeah, pressure.
So,
big
that's also
risk,
the kind of that's also some kind of risk that the investors haven't really priced in.
No, and you're absolutely right, because I haven't thought about that either. Mainly because I'm not on that side of the fence, if so to speak. I've stayed out of a lot of the ICO stuff. I've invested in 2 ICOs because they made sense to me. I'm pretty old school in the way that I look at these companies. Like I do like the Binance token, and I have been in Binance for a while now, the last a couple of months, and I like it because it appears to me I can see, because they're not going to tell me, they're not going to show me their P&L, they're not going to show me anything like that, but I can at least see the revenue model, because when I trade with them, I know that I'm getting, like, there's a fee, right? And I know from other companies they pay to be this. I'm like, okay, they've got revenue. A lot of these other companies have no revenue. None at all. And they don't even have a bloody plan to get revenue. Do you know what I mean? They just hope that their token or their crypto goes up in value, and then that's going to be their revenue, which is fine.
Yeah.
But how are you going to do that without just being full of crap?
Well, at the end of the day, I think we both know we will see they are not able to do that. And I mean, Binance token, clear revenue model, simple architecture,
Yeah.
no problem. That
Yep.
one is easy to understand. But what we very often see is we see that people start projects, and that's again going back to the lack of knowledge with the devs. Very much, we see architectures that can't possibly work if they even get mildly successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because blockchain is a brilliant ledger. It's really unique, but it's shit for storing data.
That's fantastic. I love it when people just tell it how it is. It makes a very, very big difference. So what's the next phase? I mean, we know that we are going to see, we're seeing the STO market starting to hot up. That again makes sense for liquid, like providing liquidity to illiquid asset classes. I think that's a really big thing that I think big corporations are going to be interested in. That's a different world. It's bringing more business in, and therefore it will help to, as you say, with a lot of it, just hide it in the background. So we see that technology advance and launch with people not really necessarily knowing that they're using it, but allowing new markets to open up. We've got the opportunity now through the lessons learned in 2018, and a lot of the companies that are going to be around, they've been able to build as opposed to having to work into that hype cycle and pander to investors all the time, right? So what's the next thing that we're going to see come through? Is it going to be some of the older businesses, like, for example, the ones that have been around for a long time and therefore can survive and have a good team? Or do you think we're still waiting to see a lot of new players come into the space?
Both.
Yeah.
Absolutely both. The old coins are there for a reason. And they will survive. They will find their markets, most of them.
Yep.
But we will also see new coins, new concepts. And I'm guessing as people learn the strengths and the weaknesses of distributed ledger technologies, and particularly blockchain, they will start combining it more with other technologies.
Yeah.
So you can really exploit it, because what we're seeing now,
that's what we need.
But you will see not just devs, but also marketeers. You will see managers. They will all start to understand more of the technology, and build more clever business models. I mean, a lot of what I'm seeing now reminds me of the .com wave. I was in it. And I mean, everyone wanted to build the portal, the one portal that everyone was going to use to get on the internet. I mean, that's absurd today, right? No one could see social media. No one could see Netflix. No one could see anything of this. Everyone wanted to build a portal. And what happened with those?
Well, some failed, most failed.
And we see that a little with the platforms too. Platforms has been a big thing now. Ethereum, Neo, EOS, you name it. And that's kind of the same race. Reminds me a lot about the portal race. In the .com wave.
And so, with that being the I guess the tip of our tongues right now, where are we? Are we back in 94 after the first run up, 95, or are we after 2000 as far as that goes in your mind?
I'd say around 98 to 2000 somewhere.
Right. So we've still got the biggest run to go, the biggest amount of development to go.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then we're going to see the rubber hit probably a massive come off again, because that's just what happens in these markets. It's so small right now. We've already seen what it does. And then from there, we'll probably see some of the again, if you look at what Amazon did and Google did, I mean, Amazon especially, not so much Google, but Amazon was around through that 2000 period and went up, and then went back down. Then you could buy it for, I think, $5 or $10 in that second way around. But they had a model, they had a business, and they survived.
And they had a business that was playing well with the technology. And
Yeah.
that's one of the mistakes I see a lot today, but that I think, or at least hope, I will see fewer of in the future, is this thing that we saw in the .com where we're just slapping internet on anything.
Yeah, we're seeing that now, aren't we?
Do you remember internet-ready fax machines?
Yeah, and
I mean,
courses to teach
that's
you how to
absurd.
send an email, right?
Yeah.
Hilarious now, but we're in that
Yeah.
we're going through that same period of time right now in a totally different technology, an extra extension of the internet, if you will, with blockchain. And it's, look, it's a truly exciting and dynamic place to be around, whether you're a developer or whether you're on my end doing education and media and trading. I absolutely love it because it's a fantastic place for people to collaborate and to build the future. I think that's what's so exciting about it. Whether you're building it, I'm helping to educate the people to come into it. And I've got the wonderful privilege of being able to speak to people like you and learn a lot about it. So it's a really awesome place to be. And for all the viewers and listeners out there, don't feel like you need to be tied to price, because price can make you feel good when it goes up and bad when it goes down. But start to understand the underlying technology that we're investing in here, companies like BitBay. And before we go, please tell us where we can find out more about yourself, the project, and everything that's going on over at BitBay.
Well, you won't find that much about me, but other than a picture of me on the team page on the site. But we do have a web page, of course, bitbay.market.
Yep.
And there you will also find very detailed descriptions of what we do. The two big things what we have is the smart contracts with the double deposit escrow that make it possible to eliminate every middleman in any deal. And that's something that people really don't fully understand the consequences of it. I'll give you an example.
Yep.
Airbnb.
Yep.
Starting to get banned here and there now. And I can understand why. I mean, it's unfair competition. Don't have to live up to the fire safety requirements that the hotels have to, and all this. And of course, if someone burns in a house they rented through Airbnb, you have pretty massive legal trouble somewhere.
Yep.
Is it going back to Airbnb or not, and so on. With double deposit escrow, a business doesn't have to be involved at all. So I could start a site where renters, where the people with the houses and the people that want to rent them meet. They do all the business just between them. I'm not involved at all. I just provide the sites. I provide a marketing opportunity for those that have the houses. I might make a revenue on things like selling a better placement for your ad or something like that. I can make a lot of money from that, but I have no legal responsibilities. And things like that is very much what the sharing economy is about. And all of us that are so involved in the blockchain technology tend to forget there are a few parallel processes here. Sharing economy is one of them. It's also going to be big.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, because it takes away the liability, and it doesn't put a big question mark there. It's a wonder why they're not doing it already, right?
Yeah, they will. Just wait. They will.
Yeah, they're going to have to. Businesses are always looking for solutions to problems. Sometimes they don't realize there's a problem there until they have actually got it right in their face. Then they go after the solution. And I guess that's where BitBay is there to hopefully pick up the trophy and take that one over, mate. So I wish you all the best of luck going forward. Guys, it's bitbay.market. Okay, bitbay.market. Go and have a look at what these guys are doing. And I look forward to speaking to you down the track. Bjørn, thank you so much for your time today, mate.
Thank you. It was nice to be here.
Ladies and gentlemen, bye-bye. Have a great day, and speak to you later.
The Trader Cobb Crypto Show, talking business in blockchain.